What's up, everybody? Welcome to Game Moose episode 123. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan Travert, alongside the Broccoli Brock McLaughlin.
Hey.
I don't want to know.
That's all I got. It's a hey today.
And the ghost with the most, Drew McCollum.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. So,
That better than your phone.
first thing we're going to do, a bit of housekeeping. So, Drew, we have an announcement to make.
Yes, we do.
The announcement is the podcast is moving to Mondays.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, everyone. The audio podcast is now going to go live the same time as the video now, which is good. Because, I mean, you can go check it out on whatever platform you want at exactly the same time.
Gives you more time to go to church.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
And Westworld's on. Like, really, come on.
I mean, the
Yeah.
only person this really affects anyways is Sean Capri because he likes to listen to us
to us on Sundays, yeah.
But now he has to wait.
Yeah. So the Game Moose podcast every Monday at noon Eastern time, no matter what platform you're on, if you're watching on YouTube or Spreaker, or if you're going to the website, or if you're getting it off of iTunes, or if you're getting it off of Google Play, podcasts, any of that stuff.
All that stuff.
On your smart speaker at home, listening from your Alexa, it's all going to be Monday at noon.
Yep.
That's the thing.
Yeah, because I mean, there's another reason that I tweeted out on Twitter on today that we're recording this Saturday.
Yeah.
That we had to move it to Monday anyways this week.
We did.
But we've decided this is going to be a thing going forward.
Yeah.
This is how we're doing
It
this.
just lines shit up.
So how's everyone?
Lovely. Just wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in a real fucking weird mood today.
Yeah.
I'm all over the board of spectrum of emotion.
Excellent. I'm happy with that.
I might cry or I might just start laughing. I don't really know.
Cool.
It might be all the booze I've been consuming this week, but I'm not entirely sure.
Are you going just as crazy as Bethesda's Twitter account?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. That is how my mind feels.
That's just fucking with my brain pretty hard.
like, I'd like to think I'm deep, but I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I
crazy.
hear you. But you're still not feeling the effects of shrooms this episode, are you?
No.
It's not a carryover from
It's not. It's not.
No, that's a throwback.
There's no psychedelic.
Yeah,
It's a throwback to last
I've been on a 2-week mushroom bender.
It's happened. You laugh, but it's happened.
Yes. Jim Carrey is a walking example.
Jesus Christ. That guy's, I'm worried about that guy.
I'm not.
Remember we did that
Just
weird
doing his
thing
thing.
about like Emma Stone? He was like, go back, find just Google Jim Carrey, Emma Stone, and he did this weird video where like he professes his love for her, and it's very,
She is pretty pretty.
it's very uncomfortable to watch. She is. It's just like cringy and creepy and weird to like.
That sounds very
I was
weird.
watching a Bill Cosby interview from 2002 this week.
Oh, well, that's problematic.
He's on a couch next to Sofia Vergara, and it was a very uncomfortable Letterman interview.
Really?
Where Bill Cosby is like slouched into his seat, just staring at her tits the whole time, and it's very weird.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you something really strange. Does he hand her a drink?
No, but he kept saying to go to sleep, which makes it very weird.
Oh no.
That's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
I don't know why that came up. I was that's just blessed my
I mean,
timeline
you're in a
this
weird
week.
mood
Cool.
today,
Yeah,
so
well.
weird things are going to happen.
It's all over the map.
Anyways,
Yes.
coming up on today's show,
Ryan's gonna segue.
we're going to talk about the virtual
Literally
console
gonna get a segue. because
because I'm very sad because the virtual console is no more. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about what's being dubbed as the Great Wal-Mart Leak of 2018.
Yeah.
It's happening. We're going to talk about that later. But first, State of Decay 2 is a game that's coming out in a few weeks.
It's a video game.
It's a game that we have been sent that we're going to talk all about right now. State of Decay 2. Our friends at Xbox Canada provided us a copy, and thank you for that. And we're going to talk all about State of Decay 2. So, Brock, you also haven't played it too much, right?
No, I loaded
Since
it and
recording?
then turned it off. Went back to Fortnite.
Fair enough.
Brock really likes Fortnite right
I'm
now.
gonna play it this weekend. Like prior, because this is Monday. You're listening to this, so I'm gonna have played it by the time you hear this.
Yeah, because we're recording on this on Saturday, of course, letting people behind the veil so they can see how the sausage is made. So you've probably played it by now. But yeah, I've played 11 hours of State of Decay 2.
All right.
So I have lots of things to say. There are some stuff I can't say.
I haven't played
But-
it for the record.
Fair enough. So,
No, Ryan.
Yeah?
Did you play the first one?
yeah,
Did you like the first one?
I loved the first game.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Me too. Me
So,
too.
State of Decay 2 I have some notes, guys. I actually wrote notes this time.
Jesus.
I'm prepared for this.
We're in for it.
So let's talk about what State of Decay 2 is, because a lot of people, like the most common question I see on the internet about this game is, what the hell is State of Decay?
That was my question a few weeks ago, because honestly, I really have not been paying attention.
A lot of people look at it and they're like, man, it looks like Dead Rising. It's like this arcadey zombie thing. No, it's not that at all. So State of Decay 2 basically is a zombie survival game where you basically manage a community of survivors, and it's your job basically to keep them from dying, essentially. And you basically have to go out and sort of scavenge buildings and loot cars and try not to get shot by other humans and sort of bring supplies back to your base.
But how do you experience this game, though? Is it third person?
It is a
top-down?
Third-person game.
Okay, third person.
Third-person game, and it mostly focuses around melee combat. Because you do pick up weapons throughout the world that all have durability on them. So you can, you have to basically everything about this game is all about diminishing returns. So the more you find weapons, the more you'll have them break down all the time. And eventually the world will have no more weapons.
It's almost like things are decaying.
Exactly.
As though they're in a state of decay.
Yeah. So how this game compares to the original State of Decay. Since Brock also played the original State of Decay, he can tell you that that's pretty much a description for the first State of Decay as well, where you're basically managing community, you're looting supplies, you're taking control of different members. There's permadeath, so if you die at all, you lose that community member forever.
Is this game like a roguelike? Is it like a lot of random generated stuff, or is it more directed than that? Do you have quests and is the game world set, or what's going on here?
Okay. So as far as the game world is set, but when you start the game, you have the choice of starting in one of three areas. And the areas are very different from each other. One of them is in almost like a suburban area. With green grass and stuff. There's one where it's in a hilly area and it's kind of in the middle of the desert almost. And then another one that is sort of almost in the mountains, essentially. And it has somehow, all of them have houses in them, but sort of the types of buildings you get.
Do you start in a random point in that?
You will always start in one specific house.
So there's a spawn point?
There is a spawn point, but you can move said spawn point by using the currency in the game, which is called influence.
Okay.
So everything you sort of do in this game, there's no money, there's no cash. So everything you do grants you influence, whether that's completing quests or selling loot to other camps, or likewise in order to purchase other loot, because you can purchase from traders or people from other camps. You purchase that with influence, or likewise that's how you build outposts and facilities in your base. It's basically the main currency for everything you do in the game, essentially. As far as the story, though, because you asked about, is there a story, is there a narrative, what the quests are like? Mm-hmm. There isn't really there is an overall narrative, but you don't really play this for the story.
Okay.
In the sense that there are main story beats, kind of like in Subnautica. There's main story beats that you will get, because basically there's a day-night cycle, and every day gets you closer and closer to the end of the story. Kind of like Dead Rising almost. But you can also accelerate that main quest that main story by also doing quests that are associated with the main story. So things like clearing out zombie infestations, buildings basically just with hordes of zombies inside of them, or taking out what are called plague hearts, which essentially are basically what spawns the zombies. They're basically almost like a pile of corpses sort of strung together with weird red magic.
Can you have a romantic relationship with a zombie?
No.
Oh.
Wait, there's magic in this game?
Well, no. They have. I'm not at a point in the game where it explains why the plague heart has come together the way it has.
So maybe you're not at the point where you can romantically date a zombie.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you don't know that.
That's true. I don't know that. But there is no dating in this game. Although there is weirdness in terms of each community member has sort of certain traits that they each have. And again, that is very roguelike because they're all random.
Right.
Except for the ones that you start with. You start the game with 3 people, and they're all generated based off of what you selected at the beginning. But as you get more and more people, they have different traits that are randomly generated. And some of them are like, can't sleep alone, as in They'll like try
Wow.
and get into bed with someone.
sounds like me.
If they don't like that. So
That's the trait
That
that
is
Brock
literally
has.
my trait.
Yeah.
I can't sleep alone.
so there are certain traits like that like everyone has a negative trait associated with them because each community member has morale that you
Yeah.
have to manage. And if they have those negative traits conflict with other community members, they'll get in fights. The person might become a traitor and basically decide to hold everyone at gunpoint and steal all your stuff and then leave.
This is
Or kill
sounding
people.
very much like the first one.
Yeah. It is very much like State
What's
of Decay
new?
1. So what's new as far the feature set is much like pretty new. So as far as base building is there was base building in the first one, but it was, if you remember correctly, you had to basically walk up to each outpost and then configure it and walk. No, you have a base screen. It's very easy to manage this time around, and it's a lot more streamlined essentially. Basically, each home that you have has a certain number of build facilities, so you can build a certain number of things on it, and that's what part of the incentive of getting a bigger home is having more places to put things, because you can build some crazy buildings. For example, you can build auto shops to add like really cool utility things to your cars.
Like, gotta look fly when you're pulling up on zombies.
Yeah, you could. Well, I mean,
Get in, losers.
you could add like spikes and stuff, which is pretty cool. You can build a car that has a flamethrower on it.
All right.
Yeah,
Oh,
you can
okay.
build
I
some really
like
cool
that.
stuff. Again, that kind of reminds me of Dead Rising, that sort of upgrade path. But then you can also build like a sniper tower, so your base is very defended because it does periodically get attacked by zombies.
Can I build a zombie strip club?
You cannot build the zombie strip.
Zombie casino?
You cannot build the zombie casino.
Zombie fast food restaurant? Fast food restaurant?
But they do exist in the sense that there are fast food restaurants in the on the map.
Man's gotta have his
just
Big
have
Mac.
zombies in them.
Oh.
Yeah. But so basically you have like different meters along the top of your screen that sort of describe basically what you have in your store as far as food and ammunition and stuff. And basically the whole loop that this game has is basically if you see that you're running low on something, or if you need a lot of building materials, you have to go out, go to buildings, scavenge the materials, bring them back to your base, and so on and so on. That's sort of the main loop of the game. And then there are quests on top of that, like some survivors will ask you to do certain things, kind of like in State of Decay 1. And then you sort of fulfill those, and you get rewards. Like sometimes,
And you
give a
can
rock
finish the
signal.
game?
You can finish the game this time.
Oh.
In fact, for the achievements, you actually you can actually finish you have to finish the game 4 different times in order to get all of them, because basically there's a leadership system in this game as well. I don't think there was in the first game, or if there was, it wasn't the way it is in this game. Where basically, as a person in your community does certain things, whether it's bringing back supplies or killing zombies, they earn points that will then allow you to promote them to the leader of your group. And depending on that person's personality, they can either basically be a tyrant, or they can be what's called a sheriff, which is trying to enforce laws. They could be a trader, so they're specialized in trading with other groups, or a builder, so you can actually build like all kinds of crazy ass buildings, essentially. And you actually can complete each one of those leadership has influences the main story, because they have like the leader has their own goals to fulfill in order to fulfill the conclusion of the game, essentially.
And I heard you played with someone major.
Yeah. So
Ryan's a big deal. I don't know
So-
if you knew this.
Yeah,
we
for
should
those
put-
of you at home, Ryan's the real deal.
So we should put this out there. First of all, the multiplayer. Let's talk about that real quick. You can play multiplayer co-op with someone, and the way it works is you basically have a radio on you at all times, and you can radio for people to join your game, essentially. And they can be with random people. They can be people on your friends list, or friends of friends, or
Help me,
even people who
I'm
follow
lonely.
you. Okay, work this way. So actually, Major Nelson joined my game because he was also playing. We were just going around, just rummaging buildings and stuff together. It's pretty cool.
Did he fuck up your town?
No,
Did he
but
kill
you can do
everybody?
that though.
Yeah.
In the sense that if I join Brock's game, I can kill him. And
I would
take all his
never let
stuff.
you. You'd come troll me for sure.
No, I'd help you.
Ryan would definitely make it go off the rails.
I'd help you to the point where you had all the supplies I needed, and then I'd murder you. and
that
take all
would
your
be
stuff.
so rude.
Yeah, and the best part is too the permadeath carries over to multiplayer. So if someone griefs you in multiplayer, that's it. You lose that character forever, even if that character is your leader. and you basically have to start from scratch essentially, which is kind of crazy. So I don't know. That's why a lot of times I was a little hesitant to really play online with this game. Like in a lot of ways, I kind of almost don't want to play multiplayer with this game. Because for that reason, especially with random people who will totally fuck up your stuff. Especially because humans, believe it or not, are some of the toughest enemies in this game to fight. So if a human attacks you, you might be totally screwed. Because you run into them in the environment, and sometimes you have disagreements with them, and when you fight them, a lot of times the other person usually kills you. Or it's pretty close to that. I've only lost 2 people so far, but I know some people I've talked to a couple other people who are playing the game, and they've lost a lot more because the difficulty can actually be quite hard, especially if you have like a swarm of zombies swarm you. Unless you're really lucky or have a lot of great supplies on you, you're probably going to die, which is pretty cool. So that's sort of what I can sort of say about the game so far. Again, I'm only 11 hours in, so for the most part, I'm not finished the story or anything like that. I don't know how long it takes to finish, but I don't even think I'm even close to the end of the story yet, and I'm 11 hours in. And this is a game that feels like it really leans into replay value, because first of all, when you start the game, as I mentioned, you can start from one of 4 preset sets of characters, and you can go to multiple different starting areas, and then if you choose to not, if you finish the game once, you can take in survivors from your old game and then have them be your main characters in a new game. So it seems like replayability is a big factor this time around. Unlike State of Decay 1, as you mentioned, Brock, where you couldn't really finish it, and there was no real reason to go back to it once it was over, whereas this game feels much different. It feels like it's probably going to be 20 or 30 hours, but you're going to probably replay it a couple times. But yeah, so overall, I actually am having a lot of fun with it. But I will tell all y'all about it on Thursday because I have a review coming up on game-moose.com. So please be excited.
When's the game come out? 19th? Early access?
So if you purchase the Ultimate Edition of the game,
Ultimate,
it comes out on Friday. You basically can play the game on Friday. It comes with State of Decay 1, as well as there's going to be 2 DLC packs, but we don't know what's in them at all. But they're going to be out there at some point.
More zombies?
It's $59 though, Canadian, for the Ultimate Edition. The normal edition is $39. But the regular edition comes with Game Pass, which will be available next Tuesday, essentially. Or sorry, 2 Tuesdays from now.
2 Tuesdays?
Yeah. Let me just check my calendar real quick.
Like not tomorrow, but the week after?
Yeah, because the 22nd.
Yes.
Yeah, so next Tuesday. I'm thinking about this like this is Saturday when we're actually recording this and not Monday when people are hearing this.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Yeah, because the 22nd, the game actually comes out, but on...
The 15th.
Yeah.
The 15th, people get early access to it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. There you go. So do that if this is your jam.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know nothing about this game other than
good.
just what I've heard firsthand from Ryan.
To be fair, though, I know that you love survival games, and I think it'll be a game that's up your alley.
Okay.
And if you
I'll stick something.
And if you have Game Pass, or you may have gotten State of Decay 1 on Games with Gold, I encourage you to check that out, because actually that's also a really fun game as well, the original State of Decay.
I would like to invite all of our listeners and viewers at home to just pay very careful attention to the subtext of what's going on at any given time. You never know what could be happening.
I don't know where you're going with this.
It's just odd moments of social dynamic. It's okay. Anyway, moving on.
Moving on. What else have we been playing this week? So, Brock.
Fortnite, baby!
All right, tell us about Fortnite.
I've literally, I think, played like 20 hours this week of Fortnite, guys.
And why?
Thanos came to town,
oh my God.
and he is unreal. I have a serious Fortnite addiction now, where I keep buying shit in the game. Like, Drew's giving me a look. I can't help it. I'm like, I want outfits. I need V-Bucks. I'm all about new gliders.
What's a V-Buck?
It's the in-game currency.
In-game currency.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I'm obsessed with like completing challenges and whatnot.
All right.
But Thanos came, and essentially, I'm going to use essentially now because Ryan kept saying it. Essentially, you start the match, and it's a lot quicker than a regular Fortnite match. It's only 15 minutes max. And you get down there, you start shooting everybody, and then you're going to see an asteroid, and you're going to follow that asteroid, and the bottom of the asteroid is going to be the Infinity Gauntlet, and if you get that, you turn into Thanos, and you fucking wreck everyone else.
Yeah.
Now, they've kind of nerfed them, which is a shame because he's a lot easier to kill now, but he's still very powerful and very
Did you
cool.
see the videos of people playing him when he first came out? Like, you couldn't kill him.
No, you couldn't kill him. You just keep shooting, and there was like, and the fun part is you can still kill the other players while they're trying to kill Thanos and be a dick, which I do because I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
And then you watch them all like, and as soon as you kill Thanos, the glove drops, and everyone rushes the glove, and everyone gets fucking shot by us in the back.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
That's what your rocket launcher's for. When they're all running towards it, they're bunched up. You just shoot them.
Yeah, I found a group of like 13-year-old kids, gave them some dating advice. They showed me how to ride rockets. That was really fun. I am obsessed with this game.
All right, so what can Thanos do?
He can jump really high but slow.
Yeah.
He can punch through shit.
Okay.
And he can punch you.
And he can also
Yeah.
shoot. He has like
Yeah.
a laser that he shoots from the gauntlet.
Yeah.
So like when he punches, can he like he punches through like things that you've built, sort of thing?
So
Like
he can build through, he can punch through anything.
punch through terrain and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So people use your building
Buildings.
things around them with spike walls and then closing them in because that's like the easiest way to kill them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's-
But this is a limited event too.
It's
This
a
is-
limited event, but I
this is
want
not
this to
gonna
be
be around forever.
permanent. I love this mode because it's so quick and snappy, and people drop like flies.
Okay.
There's also a million people playing it right now, so it's so easy to.
Oh yeah, the games take like 10 seconds to get into.
Yeah.
And that's why I can't stop playing.
Yeah, it just never ends.
It's literally all I've been playing. I feel like there's something else I'd put on, and I was like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Fortnite. I'm obsessed, Ryan.
That's good. now you
Coming
now-
from a guy that once said, fuck Fortnite, I hate that game.
I still remember last year when
Yeah.
we were during Extra Life, while y'all were just sitting there playing Mario Odyssey, and I was playing Fortnite and loving it.
Hey,
You're
I played some Fortnite.
You
that night.
did. You did.
Yeah.
I got a little. I got laughs from you guys about it, specifically from this guy.
Yeah.
About it.
Yeah.
But now,
Now we know.
now the tables have turned.
Now we know.
Because now I'm not playing Fortnite, but you are.
I played some Republic Commando too. That game holds up really well.
Yes.
It's a lot more simple than I remember.
Yeah.
Like I remember in my head, I was like, whoa, wow, I can make them do so many things. I'm like, wow, you literally just point at a wall and press X.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they can only the your three squad mates can literally only do three things.
Yeah.
And they're color coded, like green, yellow, and something
Blue, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very basic.
Yeah. So there's one. It was the Demolition Sky, and I don't remember the other two.
The hacker.
Yeah.
There's the hacker.
And I can't remember the last one.
The red one, I think. Or no?
Orange
or
one.
you're the okay.
I don't know.
Or the other red one, and there's a sniper or something. I don't know.
It's a good game still.
Yeah.
You fight robots.
It's still a cool game.
You fight really badass robots.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I played it a week ago and still really liked it as well. It still really holds up despite the fact that it is simple.
This game also sets up General Grievous. General Grievous is a big character in this game.
Yeah. Because they had that like weird rollout for Grievous where like
Yeah.
he was like teased at the like the final episode of the Clone Wars,
The
like,
original
animated,
cartoon,
the original cartoon, of
which
Clone Wars,
was fucking dope.
which was amazing.
Yeah, that cartoon was so good. It was Gendy Tarkovsky. There were a bunch of there were 11-minute shorts.
Yeah.
And the Grievous one was awesome. There's another one where it was like there's almost zero dialogue in it. There's a bunch of them that are like that. There was one that was like there's one episode that's just zero dialogue.
Yeah, it's
just
the one
all-
with the dude underwater.
The underwater
I don't
dude,
remember.
yeah.
his
That
name.
was one before they went and fucked up the animation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then they went and made it all 3D and made it stupid.
Yeah, I
and bad.
hated that. Really
Yeah.
shitty.
Well,
cookie
the
cutter.
story in that show was pretty good.
Yeah,
the
I
writing
know,
was
but I
really
just
good.
don't
But
like
yeah,
the visual. I don't like that
the
animation
is-
at all.
I mean, same with Rebels, where
Yeah.
I think Rebels is a cool show, but I don't like the animation.
Well, they
I like it better
they
than Clone,
improved the
but it's
animation
not
for
good.
Rebels.
yeah,
but,
it is better, but it's not. I don't love the CG-ness.
No.
of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Drew, what'd you play?
So I've been playing a lot of this one particular PC game called Frostpunk, which is it's a really interesting game. It's a city builder, but it has elements of like a survival game. In so much as that the setting is a like Victorian England, like alternative universe, like Victorian England, and there's a new ice age. And you are trying to survive the ice age, and the whole thing is that you have this like big in the center of your city is this big like cold burning steam engine, and that's what keeps your city warm. And if your steam engine doesn't have enough coal or hasn't been upgraded or whatever, then it eventually won't be able to keep up with the cold. And like eventually the days get colder and colder. It starts off around minus 20 and then gets down to like minus 50, 60, 70.
Ugh.
Like it's real bad. And the whole thing about this game is it's super fucking bleak. It's got some elements of like, I don't know, like Victorian fiction where it's like, you know, like exploiting children. Like you have this whole thing where like you have like these abilities that you unlock. It's called the Book of Laws, and you can enact things like you can do things like, one of them's called emergency shift, where you can make your workers work all overnight.
Right.
They'll work like extended hours, but because what happens is like things like your coal mines and stuff like that stop working at night. So then your coal resources dip down. So you can actually get to a point where like it's coldest at night. And if you run out of coal during the night, then your steam engine shuts down and then people start freezing to death, which is bad. Then you lose workers and it just becomes a fucking shit show. So you can do a thing like what's called emergency shift, where you can make them work overnight, or another one is child workers, where you can make kids work in your factories and stuff like that.
Yeah, great.
And you can choose between child workers. Are they going to work just safe jobs, or are they going to work like full on like in coal mines and shit, doing really risky stuff?
And that's where you send the kids, right?
That's where I send the kids.
Perfect.
At a certain point, you get a choice of like when people start. When people start freezing, start freezing, they'll start losing. Like there's hospitals and like they'll start losing limbs, and you can decide whether you're going to have like if you're going to do what they call like radical medical procedures, which is like you'll get amputees, and amputees can't do anything. Like they become amputees and like they become quote unquote a burden on society. They can't be used as workers anymore. This is very fucking political. Or you can just put them into like care homes or something like that, but like then they never leave your medical centers, right? Like, and then at a certain point you get a choice of the payoff is eventually that you can build, like if you go the amputee route, you can eventually get prosthetics, and they have like steam powered prosthetics because it's all like steampunky kind of stuff, as the name implies.
Is there any fun or happiness in the game?
No, there's zero. It's just bleak as fuck.
It's
like everything
so depressing.
It's bad all the time. Like one of the options you get is so the whole thing is you have 2 meters that you have to manage all the time. Despair and hope.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh.
If your despair meter goes all the way up, eventually you lose. And if your hope meter goes all the way down, like bad stuff happens as well.
Your despair meter probably goes up, I'm guessing.
Yeah, your despair meter does go up. And yeah, there's things that eventually you can enact, like you can become like this like super like hyper political police state, and then like hope just goes away and it just becomes order. Right, and then you have like a like an office of propaganda and stuff like that, and it's like SimCity in terms of like you're building houses and stuff like that and roads and shit, but then like it's got this added layer of this cool like meta narrative, and the whole thing is like at the same time you have your scouts that leave the city. And they're trying to figure out what happened to the rest of the world, right? So, like, there's like
this is like Putin's version of SimCity.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. So, like, you can go around and explore, and you can find like other cities that people try to set up that have failed and stuff like that. And eventually, you can set up outposts, and then they'll bring extra resources to you, whatever it happens to be, depending on where you set up. Like, I found Tesla City, which is like the city that was built by like Tesla and his followers. But they all accidentally electrocuted themselves to death.
Is it a town of cars?
No.
Oh. Is it the town from Cars?
Well, you start getting
is it Radiator Springs?
It is. It's Radiator Springs. So there's one resource that you can only get by finding things in the world, which are called these steam cores, and certain buildings can only be built with steam cores. So like, and there's certain high level buildings like coal mines and stuff like that. Because at first you're just finding shit in piles literally around your city, and then those run out, and then you have to actually start mining things and building like an ironworks and stuff. So steam cores are relatively rare, but if you find Tesla City and build an outpost there, you'll get one steam core like every couple of days, which is fucking amazing. But like you have to fully explore basically as they get to certain points. So you'll get choices in terms of where you can set your scouts, and then you'll get just kind of like story moments where they'll be like, oh, you found like a bunch of survivors and they're being attacked by polar bears. What do? Do you leave them to their fate, or do you try to rescue them? If you try to rescue them, there's a chance your scouts will die, but they'll be rescued, and then then you'll have more workers in your city. But then if you have workers in your city, you have to build homes for them, because if you have homeless, then potentially they'll get sick. And yeah, it's a really cool game.
Yeah.
It's hard as fuck and it's dark as hell, but it's really neat.
That sounds
really
exactly like Papers, Please. Just a bright and cheery game.
It certainly, yeah. I mean, it has like sort of like a level of sort of like bleakness that it shares with Papers, Please a little bit.
That's also a real good game, folks. Go play Papers, Please.
Certainly, there are moments where it seems like things are positive, but it's funny because you'll have like your little workers that'll leave in the morning, and they'll have little comments that'll come up, and they'll say like, "What are we even doing anymore? And is it even worth surviving?" and shit like that, as their despair meter goes up and shit like that.
You see the same level of despair in State of Decay too. Same sort of feeling around that when you're walking around the camp and stuff.
Or in Trump's America.
There you go. It's all topical.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to talk about something that's
all these nihilistic video games.
Actually, no. I didn't talk about the book first.
You talking about the book?
I didn't talk about the book first.
We don't review. What is this, a literature podcast? What's happening here?
We don't review books.
Not typically.
Welcome
But
to the Bookcast.
we were actually sent a book by our friends at Ubisoft Canada. This is Far Cry Absolution. Basically, this is sort of the prequel to Far Cry 5. It's about Mary May, who you might remember from Far Cry 5, she's like she manages the bar where the resistance is set up in Face area.
John's area.
Oh yeah, it's in John's area. You're right. And yeah, it's all about her basically trying to rescue her brother. It's pretty good. Pretty good so far. I talk about it more when I've actually finished it, because I haven't actually finished it.
You mentioned it sort of implies the origins of the particular faith that's in this.
Yeah, it also comes out, it sort of talks about her stuff. Also, you see John in the story as well. It's pretty good.
Cool.
Good read.
Interesting thing about the character Faith is she's not the first Faith.
No.
There
have been multiple faiths.
Faith is like the Dread Pirate Roberts of that game.
Yeah. But back to bright and cheery, though. I also played Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battles trial mode, which is out right now. The game's not coming out until next month, but the demo released this morning, and holy crap, that game is awesome. So it basically mixes together characters from Blaze Blue, Persona 4, Ruby, and Under Night Rebirth. So all kinds of different fighting games, and then Ruby, because why not, I guess. And all the characters play really well. It's a 2-on-2 fighter, kind of like Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, but like 20 times faster than that game plays. So I'm real curious to see what happens when this game comes out, because between this and Dragon Ball FighterZ, it's been like an amazing year for fighting games, and I cannot wait to play this game when it's actually out. I'll probably talk about it more next month when it actually comes out, because I think it comes out the same week as Vampire and the same week as E3. So yeah, that'll be fun.
Same week as Crackdown 3.
Well, according to Brock.
Yeah.
Not confirmed. Well, I mean, confirmed by Brock, I guess.
It's confirmed by Brock.
Anyways, we should move along. So, next topic. Goodbye, Virtual Console. Hello, Nintendo Switch Online details.
Yeah, that happened.
Woo! So, let's talk about Nintendo Switch's online service. Basically, Nintendo announced all the stuff that's coming to Nintendo Switch's online. So here we go. First of all, the pricing. So this is Canadian pricing, because we got it from our friends at Nintendo. So 1 month, $5. 3 months, $10. Or if you want to pay for the entire year, $25.
Sounds worth it.
So pretty good price overall. So first of all, it includes
Brock shaking his head no.
Yeah. I mean, how else are you going to play Splatoon online, Brock?
This is such a scummy service.
So it includes cloud saves, which is weird, because first of all, for most people who don't own Switches already, if something happens to your Switch, like it dies or something, there's no way to get your saves off of it. Or if you need to send it to Nintendo and they wipe your system, that's it.
Yeah.
You can't even copy them to the SD card that you have in your system.
It makes no sense.
So the paying for the online will allow you access to cloud saves, which for people who don't have PlayStation Plus, that's the only way to get cloud saves on PlayStation. It's just PlayStation allows you to put them on a USB drive, whereas this doesn't. So it's weird that you have to pay for that feature. And of course, online play for supported titles. Now, they specifically mentioned all Nintendo first-party games. So Splatoon 2, ARMS, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Mario Tennis Aces, and Sushi Striker. We don't know how this is going to work for third-party games, though.
Of course, Sushi Striker. You gotta have Sushi Striker
Did
on
you
that
just
list.
say Sushi Striker?
Yeah, man.
Sushi
Sushi
Striker?
What's
Striker.
Sushi Striker?
It's a real great. It's a big game. It's blowing up the scene.
Oh.
Big multiplayer presence. What's Sushi Striker, Ryan?
I don't know much about it.
Because I looked at this list, I'm like, what the fuck is Sushi Striker?
It's a game that's coming out soon, and I know Kind of Funny is Greg Miller is a big fan of this game. But
right.
I don't know much about this game because I haven't done much research. But the service also includes access to 20 NES titles. Now, the titles will rotate, and we don't know if this is the same 20 will rotate out or if there will be more, you'll have access to more than that. But the titles that will be day one that we know about, they announced 10 and they said 10 are coming later. Balloon Fight, Dr. Mario, Super Mario Brothers 3, Donkey Kong, Ice Climber, The Legend of Zelda, Mario Brothers, Soccer, Super Mario Brothers, and Tennis. It's an okay selection of games. I mean, the problem with this selection of games is a lot of these are great games, but the same games we're seeing in every collection. Like almost all these were in the NES Classic. So it's like one of the things I worry about with this service is like what the Virtual Console is nice because you got a whole bunch of different games that weren't like the mainstream NES games.
Yeah.
And I'm worried that this service is only going to give you the mainstream NES games. Like instead of the whole catalog.
Like, one, here are the games that I care about.
Urban Champion and Urban Champion?
No. Like, the main Mario games, the main Zelda games.
You care about Zelda too? You're my bro. We should fist bump.
Okay.
What? No fist bump in front of me.
Yeah, that's
I don't like it.
but like also like I don't want just Nintendo games. There's a bunch of great like classic Super Nintendo games as well.
Yeah.
Cool spot.
Yeah, like Cool Spot.
Well, we know that
Also,
NES
like first party. These are like first
Adventure
party
Island.
games.
Well, here's the thing with Super
Like-
Nintendo games, we know they're coming. They're just not going to be day one with the service.
Well, why? Like I can take a Raspberry Pi. I can buy a $5 like computer right now and play a Super Nintendo game on it in 5 fucking minutes.
I was playing Smash Bros, the N64 version, on my browser this week, and it runs surprisingly well.
There you go.
So easily.
Like, why is Nintendo dragging their ass on this stuff? Like, there's a bunch of classic games. Like, why is Super Mario Brothers 2 not on this?
Do
fucking
you
list?
want to know why? Because they want you to go buy the NES Classic because it's getting re-released this summer.
Oh God, I love
off.
rebuying the same games
See-
over and over.
See, that's the thing. So, first of all, just to round out the topic, this is all the stuff that's included in that $24.99 yearly price. And they also confirmed, though, to Kotaku, who asked about this, Virtual Console is not coming back in its original iteration. So you won't be able to buy individual games as part of the Virtual Console platform. However, they didn't rule out the idea of selling compilations of their games,
Which is fine with me.
which in a way I think almost is better than the old method.
Just fucking do it.
Or-
just start doing it now. Just sell them. Tell us what they are.
They might just be like third parties can just re-release their games piecemeal on the store if they want to. Kind of like what we're seeing with Arcade Archives. So in theory, Square Enix could be like, man, there's no Virtual Console service. We'll just throw all 6 Final Fantasy games from NES and SNES on the store.
Yeah.
Just cause.
All right.
Like as separate purchases.
Why not?
So, I mean, yeah. I mean, this is sort of the same reaction we saw on the internet all week, too. People are pissed about this. Because, again, it's not exciting news. Like, we had hoped that there'd be, when they finally announced this service, there'd be something exciting along with it. Or the fact that whenever someone asked Nintendo about Virtual Console, the answer was never no. The answer was just, oh, yeah, we'll see it at some point. And we're just never seeing it now. Which is, I mean, I feel like people would be less pissed off if they would have just said at the beginning, yeah, we're not doing Virtual Console on Switch this time around. We're doing something different. Because then people would, have their expectations in check.
Yeah.
Because
It's the internet. People never have their expectations.
Well, I mean,
in check.
more so than this situation where it's just like, it basically takes away all the excitement from this announcement, really. But yeah, you'll need this to play Smash Brothers, so that's the one reason to have it, I guess. Or Fortnite if it eventually comes to Switch, which I feel like it's going to at some point.
It will.
Yeah. I mean, it's on every platform except Switch at this point. So,
They'll announce it at E3.
yeah. I'm pretty sure that Fortnite's coming to Switch.
They will? Tencent's
Yeah.
going to do that? Like, Epic is going to come out and say Fortnite. I mean, I agree that they will, but I just don't know. I don't know if E3 is the right venue for that. I don't know.
Like, Fortnite's on Switch.
I mean, they could really
Yay.
they could just come out any day and just say it, and it'd be
Yeah.
have the same level of punch to it. essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll just have Ninja come out.
All right. Well,
Again, this is not the same ninja from the South African rap band.
No,
Diary.
no. He's gonna karate chop Reggie in the neck and go Fortnite.
now hold the phone. Is it not the same ninjas from Three Ninjas Kickback?
No, ninja singular.
No.
It's one ninja. There's only one.
And it's not the ninja from Ninja Gaiden.
You mean
Well, that's not-
Ryu
that's-
Hayabusa?
That's not a person.
He's a person in a video game.
He's a fictional. He's not real.
That's what you think.
He was played by a real person in Dead or Alive the movie. That counts enough.
Anyway, this is fucking stupid, and I hate this.
Cool. Let's move on. So
Also, still using your cell phone for voice chat.
yeah, that's still
You
confirmed.
still use the companion app.
Yep, which will be
So
real fun.
We waited a year for this, and
Yeah, because it got delayed a couple times too. Like
Yep.
it was supposed to come out last year.
so it's going last September.
Yeah.
essentially, and
And
yeah,
then January.
yeah,
And now September. I don't know why this is taking so long.
yeah. Like just
There's nothing here that seems like it would take any effort.
I
to
think
do.
realistically, it will only be because of Smash Brothers. Because I have a feeling this will launch day and date.
day and
with
date.
Yeah.
yeah.
We know it's supposed to come out in September. This online service, and I feel like Smash Brothers is coming in September.
I just want to play A Link to the Past on my fucking Switch. Is that too much to ask?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, it is too much.
They want you to go buy the SNES Classic that's on the table over there.
They want you
Take
to
it
use
home
your
with
computer.
Yeah,
But my Switch.
yeah. I know it'd be cool to have all those games portably.
I could
That's
probably
why
play it
I'm
on my
doing
phone.
Yeah. Well, at least we have the Mega Man games coming out in a week and a half on that.
Guaranteed, I could do it on my Android phone pretty easily.
Yeah.
There are tons of emulators.
Oh, it's not that they can't. It's just
They won't.
They like money.
They won't. That's the problem.
Yeah.
They won't.
It's because all of us motherfuckers got duped. We bought the NES and the SNES Classic when we shouldn't have.
Well, you did. I didn't.
Well, good point. Anyways, next up, the Great Wal-Mart Canada Leak of 2018 is here.
Yeah.
Of course, it's the month before E3, so of course we have a million E3 leaks, which we're going to talk about in a second.
And people say Canada never does anything.
Yeah, Canada doing it
Yeah,
right.
we're leaking stuff.
Well, I mean, it was also Amazon Canada that leaked Splinter Cell a couple months ago.
Yeah.
So now again,
It's usually
another
fucking
Canadian.
it's usually Australia. I don't
France.
know. Yeah.
Amazon France has been a big proponent of this stuff. So Walmart Canada put up a listing of a bunch of announced games, including the following: Splinter Cell, Rage 2, Just Cause 4, Dragon Quest 2, which we're all kind of assuming is Dragon Quest
With
Builders,
Builders
2.
too.
Builders.
Forza Horizons 5. We'll get to that one in a second. Borderlands 3, Assassin's Creed with no subtitle, Lego DC Villains, and Gears of War 5. So, gentlemen, do we think any of these are real? Do we think it's all real?
They all sound real.
Yeah. I think Gears of War is a spin-off. It's an XCOM-like spin-off.
But the last game ended with a cliffhanger.
That's fun. They're not going to rush out a new Gears that fast.
So Gears of War Wars is going to be a thing?
Gears of War, fuck, I don't know. Gears of War, this one might be okay.
I mean, the last one was a fun game. Its story was dog shit, though.
Yeah, but you don't play Gears of War for the story all the time.
I
You
do.
care for
What?
the broiness.
That's
You care
all I
for the
want is the
broiness.
story. I don't play for the multiplayer.
Yeah.
I don't.
It's
like,
got fun multiplayer.
I don't like those.
I don't like it. I don't like the shooting in Gears
I
of
don't
War.
like those bullshit excuses either, though. Like, it's a game that has like a linear narrative story and heavy gameplay elements. Like saying the story is bad because the story has always been bad is not a reason for the story not to be good going forward.
Oh, I agree. I still enjoyed it despite the story not being great.
I enjoyed it despite the story not being great. The story is still fucking horrible, though. Like it was lazy and stupid, but that part with the giant robots was fun, admittedly.
Wait,
if
hold
not a
on.
little weird.
You like stuff with giant robots?
Oh, fuck off. But like the whole like what happened to the underground monster people was really fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And
That was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Just waiting for elevators and stuff. Array.
yeah, there's a lot of elevator waiting in that game. But yeah, I mean, a sequel could be ready if they really, really banged it out real quick. Is it like question is because we really didn't know how long they were working on 4, right? Like we have an idea, but we really don't really know. Like 4 could have been worked on by another studio for a long time before Black Tusk, who is now Coalition, picked it up and then finished it. And as a consequence, would have meant that they had a lot more time to finish what could be a 5.
Yeah.
Or this could be a spinoff, and who developed that? I don't know.
Well, also think about it
like a
this
smaller
way.
team at Black Tusk, maybe. Excuse me, the Coalition.
The thing I want to point out as well is that when Gears of War 4 was announced, it was announced a year and a half before it actually came out.
Yeah.
So there's a very good chance that they announced this game at E3 and it doesn't come out till their full game next year.
Yeah.
I mean, because that development time kind of lines up between when Gears of War 4 came out, especially if they're using the same tech.
Yeah.
Like, for the most part, it's really just developing the levels and the gameplay and stuff.
I see these leaks are all being fall releases, though, not future.
Because they also put up stuff for The Last of Us Part 2 and Days Gone, which we also know aren't coming out until next year. Like, Days Gone is already confirmed for next year, but they put it up as part of this league.
Yeah.
So I feel these are all the things that are supposed to be announced at E3, but not necessarily like up for pre-order when the show is over, I guess.
What are the odds that any of these are fake? Like, this whole event was fake.
Yeah.
Forza Horizons 5, that's fake because that would be skipping it. I mean, because of the fact there's multiple Horizons, they skip over a number because it'd be Forza Horizon 4.
That's absurd. Yeah.
Also, someone pointed out on Twitter to Ryan McCaffrey that this is from the same company that moved past Windows 8 to Windows 10 and skipped Windows 9.
That is true.
So you never know. It could just be like there's so many Horizons in this game that we're skipping a whole number.
Yeah,
which would be sweet.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, we've been hearing about Splinter Cell forever, and again with the Amazon Canada leak a couple months ago, and now this. I mean, it's pretty much a shoo-in at this point. We kind of know it's coming. And then Rage 2, fun fact, we got to talk about this. Bethesda's Twitter account, of course, saw this leak and then had the Rage Twitter account basically tweet out this Microsoft Paint sort of image of the fake box art they put up. And they're incorrect logo and they were pointing out all the mistakes with it. But then the Bethesda Twitter page has all been trolling and basically setting up an announcement for Monday. On the 14th, when you're listening to this podcast, actually.
Yeah.
You have Rage on the shelf there. I've never played Rage.
Yeah, I didn't play Rage either.
Rage.
I watched the video. It did not look good.
Well, it's pretty fun because it's just like every id Software game. The shooting mechanics are fun. It's more just it had a very barren open world and it had a lot of good ideas, but it kind of just was very rushed at the end. It had a similar ending to Knights of the Republic 2, if you remember that, where it's just it just kind of ends. Because it was almost like the developers were like, oh shit, we got to get this out the door. Let's just throw an ending on it, kind of.
It features mega texture technology.
Yes, exactly. It was a really pretty looking game for the time.
Just like every id game.
Yeah.
It looked beautiful. Had some pretty major technological breakthroughs.
And when you fought the monsters, all the monster designs, first of all, looked really cool. And fighting them was really fun. The open world stuff didn't really work. Mm-hmm. That was my problem with Rage.
Yeah.
Not only that, but it also came out the same month as Borderlands, the original Borderlands. So they were very similar looking games, but Borderlands almost looked better because it was cel shaded.
Yeah, I mean, Borderlands just had a lot more flavor and it was a lot more interesting.
Especially because it had RPG elements and stuff. It had a lot more going for it than Rage did.
Rage was pretty bland. Yeah. It had all the racing elements that they wanted to add to it, but.
Yeah. Either way, it sounds like Rage 2 is confirmed at this point, barring some kind of crazy miracle. And then Just Cause 4, I could see happening because we do know Square is having a press conference this year, and they need something to talk about. So I'm pretty sure Just Cause 4 is actually happening because they're the company who makes it.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hated Just Cause 3.
Yeah, but those games sell. People buy those games. So, and then Lego DC Villains was rumored for a long time. I mean, it makes sense for.
I'm really stoked on that one.
Yeah, that'll probably be really fun.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
I imagine you play as Harley Quinn a lot.
I would. I like a little sexy Lego brick.
What about the shark from Batman the movie?
No, sexy Lego brick.
The shark from
the 1960s Batman movie.
Oh, that shark.
Yeah, the one that Batman had to use the shark repellent on.
The shark villain from The Flash. What was his name?
King Shark.
King Shark.
King Shark.
He's not as cool as the shark villain from the TMNT Tournament Fighters game, though.
No.
I don't know.
No, King Shark's the best because he runs around and goes, King Shark, King Shark. He's just really dumb.
Actually,
he's super fucking dumb.
Before we move on, there is one game that seems out of place here, and that's Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, I don't.
Because Ubisoft talked very openly about how there wouldn't be another Assassin's Creed this year. So I'm interested to see what that is, if it's real at all.
What if it's some kind of weird spin-off or something?
Maybe. Like Rogue almost?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like the weird
Or like the 2D ones?
The 2D ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. It could be like a 2D.
Ubisoft runs a pretty leaky boat, and we've never heard anything about this.
Well, we also didn't get our yearly Jason Schreier sort of leak of all the information in the next Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah.
It always turns out to be true.
Yeah. I wonder if they've tightened shit up, hopefully.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Again, they kept saying that they're just going to pump out more expansions for Origins and there'd be a new game next year. So that's why I'm surprised about this.
Yeah.
Otherwise, all these other games sound plausible, I think.
Yeah. What if it's Assassin's Creed, the movie 2?
What if it's a movie a game based off the Assassin's Creed movie, just period?
Yeah.
If it's just a movie adaptation.
Assassin's Creed, the movie, and it features motion cap, just like...
It'll be just like the Prince of Persia, The Forgotten Sands, which was supposed to be like based off the Prince of Persia movie.
I was going for more of a Street Fighter, the movie, the game kind of thing, but...
That's a good game.
Yeah.
It's got some real great motion.
It's got Raul Julia's last great performance.
Exactly. I mean, it's got Kylie Minogue and Jean-Claude Van Damme, so clearly that's
It's a
just
tour
the
de
winner
force.
right there.
Tour de force.
Yeah.
Fun fact about that movie, originally was supposed to be a G.I. Joe movie.
Yeah, which is why it's so
So weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, so let's wrap up with some news this week because there's a lot of news, but we'll fly through these pretty quickly. So the release date for Crash Bandicoot's Insane Trilogy on Switch, Xbox One, and PC is actually moved up. So it was originally supposed to come out on July 10th, but is now coming out on June 29th. We have no idea why. It just is. Square Enix, as I sort of alluded to, has announced they will be doing a Nintendo Direct-style video press conference from E3. It will air at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday, June 11th, on their official Twitch account, which is cool.
Right.
SNK has announced the Neo Geo Mini. It's a mini arcade cabinet with a 3.5-inch LCD screen and 40 games built in. It will have Japanese, European, and North American variations because the Neo Geo arcade cabinets look different in Japan and North America. It has like an arcade joystick and all the buttons on it.
That's cool.
This seems kind of cool.
I love Neo Geo.
We just have no idea when this is coming out or what the pricing is or anything like that. Something Drew got excited about when this got announced. Star Trek Bridge Crew getting some DLC.
Yes.
The Next Generation.
Yeah.
Coming on May 22nd.
That's awesome.
Same day as State of Decay. And a million other games because Detroit is also coming out that week and all kinds of crazy stuff.
So yeah, you play Bridge Commander, but not TOS and TNG, man. You can live your inner Riker, you know?
Yeah.
Be Riker. Be your best Riker.
Exactly.
Everyone was
You're
Riker.
just going to make him the captain. You can do the Picard facepalm yourself.
That's right.
Klingons are pretty lame, right?
What do you mean?
I don't know.
I
I had nothing to contribute to the conversation.
I think they're all right.
I haven't remembered the last time I've said anything, and I felt like I zoned out there for a long while. Ryan started talking about something, and I don't know where I went.
Rate
Went on a
shoe or
trip.
something. Yeah.
Yeah. We talked about SNK and
That lost me.
It glosses over. It's okay. Next up, Sony has announced officially their E3 showcase is actually happening on June 11th at 9 p.m. People were freaking out because they hadn't announced anything yet, and thought, oh my God, Sony's not doing anything, but they are.
But they might as well not be, though.
Yeah,
you know.
Well, so they're basically this year's presentation is going to focus on the following 4 games, and from the sounds of it, it sounds like there's going to be gameplay demos of each of these 4 games, including Death Stranding, Spider-Man, Ghost of Tsushima, and The Last of Us Part 2. Now, there was some speculation about whether or not this would be like a Nintendo Direct kind of presentation or kind of like the pre-show, but no, they actually confirmed late yesterday that that's actually not the case. It's actually a traditional press conference. It's just going to be people coming up on stage playing these games, though, rather than their usual just sit there and watch trailers for an hour and a half.
I'd much rather do that than watch someone play a game.
For 45 minutes?
Yeah,
no, not for 45 minutes.
It's probably just they don't have a ton of new announcements.
Guess we're not getting a Horizon update.
Well, I still think that's coming later this year at like Paris Games Week. But I mean, they need to save something for Paris Games Week, Brock. It's the biggest.
They've got to have an announcement. Like, it's
so I'm getting to that. There are other announcements. So first of all, they said there will be third-party announcements and indie announcements. And I still think, even though they haven't confirmed it, there'll probably be one more thing, and it'll be like a new Sony first-party game announcement, or Shadows Die Twice, which we talked about at our E3 show, like From Software's new game. I still think it'll be there shown at Sony's thing. Let me just see it. Yeah.
That's third party.
They also confirmed as well, and I don't know why people are so upset about this. There are no hardware announcements at this E3.
No, and they already said that.
Yeah.
They said the PlayStation 5 is miles off.
We're not getting PSVR 2.
Yeah.
I understand this. I'm reiterating this for all the crazy people who are freaking out on Twitter because there's no PS5 announcement.
There's not.
There wasn't going to be.
There doesn't need to be.
No.
Why do you need a PS5 right now?
Yeah.
What,
Well, people had it in their mind that it was
Sorry,
coming out.
money bags on Twitter there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Money to burn on a new console.
I need to buy a new console every 6 weeks, or I don't feel fulfilled sexually.
Thanks to EA's earnings call, we figured out that
All right.
the PS4 is almost at 90 million sold. Why do they need a PS5 right now?
Yeah.
They don't.
No. I mean, like the last console cycle was 10 years, guys. 10 years, and we've already had a refresh.
Yeah.
There's no rush to do another one.
Yeah. Until Microsoft announces theirs, I don't see Sony announcing a new console.
Well, I mean, what people oftentimes, it's easy for people to forget is that it costs money. Like new consoles cost a lot of money,
Yeah.
not only for the console manufacturers and developers, but also for the other software companies. And now they have to invest in new tools and
There's also a lot of
new
R&D costs and stuff. Yeah.
So like nobody's foaming at the mouth to do this.
Yeah.
Typically the only people who are trying to sort of like push things forward are the companies that are behind, right? So that's why we had the Xbox One X, because Microsoft needed to seem competitive. But in terms of like a next big iteration, like Microsoft is in the hole. They're way behind Sony. Sony's way ahead. There's no strong motivation for either one of those guys to just rush out and put out new hardware.
Yeah.
Period.
Exactly. Especially because, again, after the refresh, like the Xbox One X is quite powerful. Like it's almost as powerful as another console. So why do they need to do another one right away unless they're in dire straits? Because even though they're behind, they're not so far behind that the Xbox One is a failure. It's just, it's not the same number of sales as PS4, essentially. So, anyways, Battlefield 1, we got to talk about this. So after an update to Battlefield 1, they added a new map, and basically there was a hidden room on this new map. And people found, there was, apparently you had to go around the map itself and look for basically the vault combination to open
That map
the door.
has been there for a year.
Yeah.
No, but they just updated the map itself.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, sorry, I
They
said there was a
unlocked
new
the
map.
door now,
Essentially, people have been trying to get in the door.
which
Yeah,
is
for a
so
while.
stupid.
Yeah.
It's always
Like, why would you put? Yeah, it's dumb.
Yeah.
I kind
It's
of
just
enjoy
a dumb thing.
when people get really carried away with some of this stuff, but in this particular case, yeah,
It went a little crazy. So inside the door, when they finally breached it, was a classical painting of a horse that had like tire treads on it, essentially. So it looks like basically the next Battlefield game is going to be a World War II game, because it also linked to a website indicating that on May 23rd there will be an announcement for the next Battlefield.
Whoa! Slow down here. How are you putting these two pieces together?
This is there's
a
a giant Reddit post that sleuthed all this stuff
I'm
out.
confused. The horse had treads.
The horse, as
No, so like the horse is like basically the main picture, but then there's like it's almost like someone drove over.
someone has driven over the painting.
Someone's driven over the painting.
and left treads behind.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how these treads are indicative.
Because the
of
idea,
World War
it's
II.
the idea of like technology changing the warfare in World War II.
We understand that technology is changing, but it could be representative of any technological change. How do we? What's the logical through point here? How do we know it's World War II? Is other than just we really think it's World War II.
We're pretty sure it's World War II.
All right, there we go.
This horse was from World War II horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just don't make horses like that anymore.
I never said it
Did
was.
someone do some like careful analysis of the tread and be like, this is definitely from a Jeep that was first manufactured?
It's
during
definitely
World War
from a
II?
Sherman tank.
Was it a picture?
It's from a Sherman tank.
It looks like it.
Okay, so a Sherman tank, definitely World War II.
Yeah.
Cool. That's what I was looking for. Thank you.
Are we sure they're not just trolling and it was a portrait of Mr. Hands?
Possibly.
Shit.
And this also isn't
Also,
the first
Mr.
time.
Hands. Mr. Hands was the person, not the horse.
Yes, I know.
This also isn't the first
I
time.
don't
they
remember the
referred to
horse's
this.
name. No one ever remembers the horse's name.
Of course not. The horse didn't die. He did.
The horse is Miss Big Panky.
Yeah.
We talked about Mr. Hands on a previous episode, didn't we?
Probably.
This is not the
I like
first
bringing
time.
Up. There's two things I love on the internet: Shrek is love and Mr. Hands.
This is not the first time we talked about a guy who got fucked to death by a horse.
It
I
happens.
find this really interesting.
It is a thing that exists.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Some people.
Did I tell you? Like, it was a really sad story. Like, he was in
No, it's not.
he was in a terrible car crash, and like he had like a bunch of nerve damage. So like he couldn't feel things. Like his nerves were numb in a bunch of places. So like this is why he wanted to experience this. Is the only way he could feel something.
That's fucked. That's so stupid.
I agree.
That's so fucked. That's not sad. That guy's fucking crazy.
It's horrible, but it's sad that this is the length that he went to.
I don't even know how he convinced the horse to fuck him.
Well, he didn't convince a horse to. He had a bunch of friends. There were people helping him.
Jesus.
Like there were people making videos and people like holding things, and there's a whole system of like levers and pulleys. I imagine
levers and pulleys. Anyway,
it's this very special harness.
He probably had to do a few poppers before he did that.
I don't know what those are. And
I'll tell you about them after the show.
Fair enough.
that's our cue to move on.
Brock would know what that is.
That's our cue to move on. All right, so 2 more stories and then we can get the hell out of here. Capcom has announced Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate is coming to Nintendo Switch.
You bet it is.
August 28th. It's a re-release of Monster Hunter Double Cross, released only in Japan on 3DS. So it's a 3DS port. But finally, Monster Hunter finally comes to Switch.
Yay.
People better get excited.
I'm excited.
I'm not.
I mean, it's going to be much more obtuse than something like Monster Hunter World 2. So
Is it?
yeah.
Okay.
Because, have you ever played any of the Monster Hunter, like, 3DS games?
One a long time ago.
Yeah, because I played Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, and man, it was really obtuse. And like it's like Monster Hunter is a series that prides itself on being obtuse, and that just doesn't entice me to play it. Anyways, last one, and this one's really exciting, or exciting to me, possibly to Drew as well. Indie Creates has announced 2 new titles. They announced them late last night in Kyoto. Bloodstained Curse of the Moon and Gunvolt Chronicles Luminous Avenger 9. So basically, Bloodstained Curse of the Moon. If most people won't remember this was part of the Bloodstained Kickstarter. One of the stretch goals was for them to create an 8-bit NES style version of the game, essentially, kind of like like Castlevania 3, essentially. So that's what they've essentially done here. So Bloodstained Curse of the Moon is coming out on Xbox One, PS4, Vita, 3DS, PC, and Switch on May 24th, and it looks fucking awesome. There's a trailer that's out right now. It's on my Twitter. Go watch it before Brock dies. He's falling over here.
Oh, no.
I got distracted by a video. Some guy fakes a heart attack to see how his service dog in training would react. The dog jumps on his head and starts helping him.
Yeah.
Mr. Hands in
This is
him.
real Mr. Hand stuff right there. If you're wondering how people got animals to hump them, it's just sometimes it's just what they do. Sometimes it's just what they do.
Jesus.
Cool.
All right. And then Gunvolt Chronicles Luminous Avenger 9 is the next game in the Azure Striker series and stars Copen. He's almost like Proto Man to Gunvolt, who's kind of like Mega Man.
Yeah. The last Gunvolt game was okay.
It was awesome. I loved it. It plays a lot like Mega Man X.
Yeah.
So I know it's probably up your alley as well. So there's no release date. It was just confirmed at the showing last night, and the only platform we know about is on Switch, because it's always been a Nintendo exclusive franchise anyways.
Okay.
So I don't see it coming to anything else. So this week's new releases, we got Dragon's Crown Pro, which I'm probably going to fall down the rabbit hole with again on Tuesday. Little Witch Academia Chamber of Time, which is based off the show Little Witch Academia. And
Oh, yeah, absolutely it is.
State of Decay 2 Ultimate Edition comes out on Friday.
Yeah.
So go check that out. Anyways, before we go, True Plugs go.
I am at DMcMill on Twitter, which is a platform where you can see me tweet things.
Yes, that's what Twitter is.
It used to be 140 characters. Now it's 280. This is twice as many characters as before. So
I mean, 200% what you could do before.
It's very interesting. It's 100%.
I don't know math.
So that's.
I'm just going to sit in the corner now.
Yeah, you can do 100% more.
The only math I need to know is if she was. Nope, I'm not going to go there.
Please don't.
Is it Popper related?
No.
Where else can people find us, Drew?
Game-moose.com.
Bingo.
You can listen to the podcast every Monday at noon Eastern Time
Get hype.
on iTunes, the Google Play Store, Spreaker, at Player.fm, maybe SoundCloud again one day. I don't know. I fucking hate that service.
They don't like us very much.
Well, no, it's not that they don't like us. It's I don't like them. I don't want to pay them money to put my podcast over there. It's like there's an RSS feed. You can go to the website and listen to it there. Or, there's a bunch of podcasting listening services, Dogcatcher, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. iTunes, I think I already mentioned that. Yeah. Hey, if you feel like reviewing the podcast on iTunes, that'd be great.
You can do what I'm doing right now in the video. You can give it a thumbs up.
Yeah, I don't know if that's how it works, but yeah, Apple Podcasts, if you review us there, excuse me, I keep saying iTunes, but it's now Apple Podcasts. If you review us there, that helps us out a lot. So,
Perfect.
Yeah, keep that in mind.
Broccoli, where can people find you? I'm almost scared to ask you, but where can people find you?
Why do you say this? You can find me on Twitter.
Have you not heard the last 5 minutes?
At Brock McLaughlin.
It's the last hour is really
you can find me on my website, rockstargaming.com.
What?
I'll probably be on HUD this week. That's on Super Channel. Jinx TV for those people in America or Europe.
Make sure to PVR it and then tweet Brock with a photo of you PVRing it, but then not watching it.
Yes. Yeah, that'd be perfect. That's all I want you to do. That would be great for me.
Because it counts as a view. If they just PVR it but then watch it, it's still a view for you.
It's still a view for me.
Yeah.
And then, hit me up on Fortnite because that's all I play. Just at Brock McLaughlin. It's my favorite game ever.
Yeah. On Xbox, right?
Yeah, look at it. I'm not going to say anything weird.
There you go.
Yeah.
High five?
I wouldn't touch my hand.
All right. As for me, you can find me on Twitter at Ryan Turford, TURFORD. Again, this week, look for our State of Decay 2 review coming out on Thursday. So look out for that on game-moose.com. And yeah, that's pretty much all that's going on this week. I do want to plug, though, Sean Capri, friend of the show. If you haven't had enough E3 talk, he's doing four E3 podcasts this week.
Yeah.
So you can check him out over at youtube.com/WeTheNerdy as well, We The Gamercast. Thanks again to Sean, of course, for coming on the show last week.
He actually predicted Rage 2.
He actually predicted Rage 2.
That's so weird.
And he tweeted that out, and people didn't believe him.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, here's the tape of him doing it, and us laughing at him.
Yeah, and I told him he got the Golden Moose Award for the best prediction, because clearly all of us were like, no, Rage was such a horrible failure.
We all
Why
laughed
would they
at
do
him
that?
and thought it was a joke.
To be fair, they made Prey 2, and Prey 2 has nothing to do with the first Prey in any way. So,
yeah. Also, I keep hearing rumblings, Drew.
Yeah.
This might excite you. I keep hearing rumblings of Prey DLC or standalone expansion coming.
That'd be very interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be curious to know what that is.
Yeah. Almost like Death of the Outsider for Dishonored.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine's coming back.
Oh, yeah. It was canceled. Well, it was dropped by Fox and then picked up by NBC.
Because it's a bad show.
Yeah.
No, it's a great show. It is an absolutely fantastic TV show.
My exact words to my girlfriend last night were, to be fair, it probably got 2 seasons more than it deserved in terms of, like, it's a pretty by-the-numbers, like,
it's only getting better.
Sitcom.
I can't believe how fast they turned that shit around. They're like, okay, new buyer.
Yeah, that was fast.
Like,
That was
really
real
fast.
Yeah, it looks like people were, like, all kinds of companies were bidding on it last night.
Yeah, Netflix was.
And
Hulu.
Rick and Morty confirmed for 70 more episodes.
We're going to get 100 episodes of Rick and Morty. We're 100 Adventures, Morty.
Yeah. So don't hold your breath.
I don't know. Yeah, they'll never come out. Dan Harmon will never do those 70 episodes.
Yeah, like it's hard. It was really hard for them to finish even the 3rd season, let alone any more episodes. So yeah, they're under contract now, and so that's moving forward.
Cool.
TV is good. Watch television. The new season of Westworld, very good. Very, very good.
It has robots in it.
And they fuck. And some people who fuck too. People fucking.
No wonder why this is up your alley.
Yeah.
Robot fucking.
Well, you know I love robot fucking.
Exactly. Anyways, for Drew Mellon, Brock McLaughlin, I'm Ryan Turford. This has been episode 123 of the Game Moose Podcast, and we're out.